Well, good afternoon. Thank you all for taking time to come today. We've got an important announcement, but maybe first off, August 17, first 17 days of August have been incredible, the most beautiful weather we've ever had in Nebraska, and I want to take credit for that. So it has been awesome, and I appreciate everybody being here. Really, really important today that we're going to make the announcement of where we are going to locate Nebraska's new 1,500-bed prison. Just for a little historical perspective, this last legislative session, the Appropriations Committee approved $335 million for the Nebraska Department of Correctional Services for the construction of a new prison. $95 million was new dollars this session. The 240 was included, had been set aside, but not appropriated. Also, 15 million had been approved prior for the options on property and initial design. So I want to make sure that we have full appreciations for the Appropriations Committee and all of our partners in the Nebraska legislature in recognizing the need for moving forward with the construction of a new facility. I think it's important to recognize the status of the Nebraska State Penitentiary. This facility is old. This facility was portions of the campus, believe it or not, Nebraskans, dates back over 150 years, since 1869, 2 years after our birthday, and everybody remembers our birthday is March 1, 1867. Through many, many decades, the campus has been expanded, it's been modified to maintain the facility's viability. However, with its age and the condition, it's extremely difficult to operate as a modern correctional facility. It is not feasible to make modifications any longer. So as a result of all those changes, the Nebraska State Penitentiary faces, it's the most important is keeping people safe. So a couple things really important in regards to locating the new facility. I think history has helped us understand the incredible need to make sure that those who are incarcerated are located in a place that's located as close as possible to their families. Having incarcerated prisoners being able to maintain contact on a routine basis is a really, really key part to being reintroduced into society. And I think it's really important to recognize for people to understand how different the mission is than it was 150 years ago. And so today, 60% of those incarcerated are released back into society within 3 years. 60% within 3 years. And I think 92 to 93% within 10 years. So really important that we have this programming, this facility for safety, and then so that we can have tremendous programming. So close to families is really important. The second thing is to the workforce. This is 1,000 jobs, and we have a lot of people that are trained and do great work here in Lincoln. So the location in Lincoln was a real important factor. The location, the other piece is based on the need of having tremendous access to Interstate 80 and access for all of the workforce and the families. And so the decision was made to exercise an option on a piece of property in northeast Lincoln that's near 112th and Adams Street. Easy way to think about it. Easy way to think about it would be that it would be located north. Let me see if it would be located southeast of the Lancaster Event Center. This new multi-custody facility will be state-of-the-art, increasing the safety, enhancing the environment of both the staff and the incarcerated population. We expect construction to begin roughly a year from now, fall of 2024. Before I turn it over to Director Jeffries, I just want to reiterate how incredibly important this investment is for the state of Nebraska. It's an investment in our safety and security, and it's a hope is a significant impact for those who are incarcerated. That we will continue to keep working to have a state-of-the-art facility to enhance programs and treatments and education and employment opportunities. It's also an investment in our corrections workforce. I've toured many of the facilities in the last 8 months, and I will tell you I am in awe of the public service commitment to the folks that work in corrections. So it's a great investment for the state of Nebraska, and it's from my seat long overdue. So I'd like to introduce Director Jeffries. Really privilege for me that you said yes when we met to come to Nebraska and have transformative change, and I'm excited that this investment is going to allow us to create an environment that we can literally lead the nation. We can literally lead the nation in taking care of those who have a debt to pay to society, and work hard to have a chance that they come back better than ever. So, Director Jeffries, thank you.
Good afternoon, all. And as the Governor Pillen has said, this investment is key. It's a key part of our community. Its ability to keep people safe. It provides opportunity for change that people need to be successful once they get back out to the community. There will be over 500 public servants who are employed at the current NSP. Those are the workforce that will be transferable over to the new facility once we get that up and running. With that 500 employees, I mean, that constitutes over $32 million in annual salaries for that workforce. Also to include, with the operation of that facility, that's about $1 million of utility payments that we pay into the city of Lincoln. So this is a viable particular facility that will be very beneficial to be housed in the city of Lincoln. Other key considerations for a future replacement facility include the proximity, as the governor has spoke on, proximity to family members, ensuring that they have access closer to, where the population is located at. Volunteers. We have a lot of volunteers that currently go in and out of NSP currently. We want to make sure that that's accessible for them as well as they're here in Lincoln. We want to, make sure that we have access to emergency services, healthcare facilities, and as I spoke earlier about the utilities that is provided for this particular facility. As you can see, where the facility will be located at, let me get the right map. It'll be close to the 180, I-80 expressway, so it's even closer and to the current facility, which is down here. It's closer to I-80, so that shortens the ride from those folks who are located out of the Omaha city to come and see their loved ones. The site is large enough, as you can see on the map far to my left, that it has potential for berms, trees, and landscaping, and to screen facility from any surrounding freeway networks. As you can also see, it's adjacent property minimizes the concerns about visibility, light, and anything else that brings about a facility in a particular neighborhood. Now that the site has been selected, our next steps include site design, utility connections, facility design, and as the governor mentioned, we anticipate construction to begin fall of 2024. I won't get into the things that the governor has already spoke about the age of the facility, but this will be very conducive for what we're trying to bring about change for the population to be successful going back out to the community. Not only that, it increases the workforce and the technology and the things that we hope to bring with a better environment, the duality of that better environment, better work environment for the staff and for the population. So at this time, I'll go ahead and pass it back over to Governor Pillen, and I also want to thank you as well for including me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would certainly be happy to open up for any questions. Paul?
Do you know how many acres you're buying here? And I can't read this thing. Is there an option to expand into more acres there on the east of that?
I'm going to tell you that I think it was approximately 305 acres.
Do you know how much it costs?
I don't have that off the top of my head. Do you have that,
Yes.
Rob?
As the governor has spoke, it's over 300 acres, and it's costing us about $17 million.
And is it designed to be expandable to double the size? I know that's been discussed in the past about this facility. Is that still in the plan?
Well, with that land option, it gives us enough space if we have to expand. That option is available, but hopefully we do not have to.
Is the cost going up? Because I know there's been a lot of talk about inflation and construction costs. What is the cost of this facility?
I will give a general answer, but I would say with inflation, the cost has increased. And that's why it's so important for us to get this going right now, because who's to say in the next couple of years what those costs with inflations will lead us to.
Have you engaged the legislature in the discussion on the decision about where this is going to be?
No, we have not. We've done that internally. Martha?
Two questions. What is, have you actually closed on this sale, or is this in some other stage of acquiring this piece of land? And then secondly, why not build closer to Omaha, which is closer to family for a large segment of the population?
Well, number one, purchase agreements signed, and number two, really, we have a tremendous workforce here at the Nebraska State Penitentiary, and all of those disciplines and jobs and people are transferable to the new facility, and whether, depending upon where you want to talk about Omaha with the access to Interstate 80, this location, bottom line, is best interests of the families and the workforce is our decision. Yes.
Nebraska prisons are about 140% over design capacity. Will this do anything with the problem of overcrowding in the prison system? Is there any ideas around that, of this site helping with that problem?
I'll let Director Jeffries talk about the exact number of beds and what this will do for us.
Yeah, so the question is design capacity?
Yeah, so over across Nebraska's prison system, operating about 140% of design capacity, overcrowded. Will this new facility help with that in any way?
Yes, our current facility at NSP is about 1,200 with a unit offline because of continued structural problems, what have you. This facility is about it will be 1,512 beds, so that'll be 300 plus beds as we move forward to help with the overcrowdedness.
And just to follow up with that, there are predictions that this system will grow in the future. So by the time it's built, will that still maintain the same ratio of its 300 more beds? It might be more people in the system. So do you think this will, even with the projections of the system growing, this will help?
Well, I can tell you with the commitment from our team at the department, we're going to be exercising all of our things that we have in our control to help, stabilize the population. I can't speak to the future. Only thing we can do is continue to work as hard, as diligent we are about reducing the population through our mechanism that we have at our disposal.
Do you think there are too many incarcerated people in the state of Nebraska?
I don't sentence people to incarceration.
Right.
My job is to manage the incarcerated population once they come to me. And so we'll do everything we can to prepare them to be ready to enter back into society. But, you know, I can't speak to why we have this many people incarcerated. Only thing I can speak on is what we're here for today, and that's to build this new facility in an area that's going to be more conducive for programming, to get more people access to programming, and not to mention the better environment for our workforce as well, too.
Andrew?
What will become of the state penitentiary?
We will, as we continue with this construction project and we'll get closer to, you know, the finalization of that project, we will be looking to decommission the old state penitentiary.
So you don't see it ever being used again once this other prison is built?
This is a replacement prison for the current NSP, so that's the plan moving forward, that this particular facility will replace the NSP.
Might you keep some of those housing units and use them?
I'm sorry?
Might you keep some of those housing units at the state pen active, since some of them are pretty good?
Yeah. Although there might be some new facilities on top, it still has a infrastructure underneath that we are constantly battling about, with pipes busting and what have you. Currently, I mean, as a matter of fact, we just had a water line bust this morning.
At the pen?
Yes, at the pen.
Have to relocate anyone because of that breakage?
No, ma'am. The incredible teamwork that we do at NSP, they are used to patchwork as things happen. I mean, it continues to happen, so we notify the population that we will be without water for a period of time, and it'll be back on this evening.
So kind of double check the numbers, so there'll be 500 jobs initially in this new prison?
No, that's 500 jobs that we currently have, over 500 jobs that we currently have at NSP that will be transferable over to.
So the prison will employ 1,000, is that the number?
No. We are still in the design capacity to see how that operation for that facility will be based on the security level. We got levels of security that we're going to have to do a staffing analysis for. So to speak on what the current staffing will be at that new facility, I can't speak to that just yet.
And I've looked at your vacancy reports, looks like you've got more vacancies in the prison system in your most recent vacancy report than you did at the beginning of the year. What's going on with that? Are you concerned? What is your level of concern about having enough people to staff?
So you just gave more validation as to why we should keep it here in Lincoln, because we have a workforce in Lincoln, and it's a transferable workforce that will be able to transfer over to the new facility. We're faced with a crisis like everybody else in this nation about hiring and retaining folks. But we are incredible. We have an incredible team that has been very forward-thinking about how we are to get people with our marketing, getting people, from out of state. We got a lot of people that came from other states here to help to work with us. So the retention effort is on us. I mean, we're looking at increasing our staff wellness. We're looking at our staff engagement, because I believe in any company, people want to stay where they are valued. And so we believe that our efforts, as we start looking at our staff wellness, help looking at our retention planning and our staff engagement, the training, investing in our team members, I believe that would help us stagnate and probably get ahead of this staffing crisis. But this is something that everybody's facing. I'm part of a couple groups, national groups with the Department of Justice that is looking at this for all law enforcement agencies as well, too. It has significantly reduced. I don't know, I don't have those numbers offhand, but I think we have numbers that date back to 2021, and it has significantly reduced based on some of the efforts we put in place. We did a lot of work with moving people, investing in people, training and all that stuff. So that has been paying off very, very well for our agency. So I don't have those numbers, but I can get those numbers to you. Yes. I can send a text and get it to you this afternoon, sir.
All right.
All right.
Were there any communities you looked at beyond numbers that you would have needed? Did you look at any other communities?
So this was a long process, and I believe it was in process before I got here. And so there was I could say there was over 70 sites that were being reviewed initially. So taking all of that, and when I came on board, it was looking at where is our current workforce at? You know, when we create a new facility, are we going to be concerned about the workforce for a new facility in a new town when we have a workforce right here that's transferable to the facility if we build it in the same town? So that was a main factor, our workforce, stabilizing that workforce, and contributed to the city of Lincoln.
Governor, are you considering any sentencing reform to reduce future overcrowding?
I'm sorry, sir.
Are you considering any sentencing reforms to curtail future overcrowding?
No, the answer is no. You know, we have my partner, Lieutenant Governor Joe Kelly's gone today, but, you know, he spent his lifetime prosecuting in Lancaster County, the judicial system, and the system between law enforcement and prosecuting, and the judicial system has highest calling of governments keep us safe, and people need to be held accountable, pay their dues, and what this investment is going to do is help us improve programs so that when 60% of the population gets released within 3 years, that they have a much better chance of being successful.
Does that include like drug courts and things? 'Cause the statistics show they're more effective than prison in a lot of cases.
Yeah, I think the bottom line point we're trying to make just simply is that this investment is really important so we can improve programming, because the hardcore numbers are 60% of the folks that are paying a debt back to society, before they're released back to the society within 3 years, and we have to do more to improve our do more programming to be able to improve the success rates with people being reintroduced into society.
What classification have you made for your facility? Is this a maximum, medium?
All, it'll be all classifications at this facility.
Same mix as the pen?
I'm sorry,
About the same mix as the penitentiary is now?
as far as the classes.
Yeah, if not less of one and more than the other, but yes, the same mixture of population, because we have multi-levels at the current state right now.
Martha?
Have you talked to folks in the area of this site? Because you've got some apartments and other homes that are not far from this, so folks might be kind of leery about having a prison in their backyard.
Yeah, we've talked to the city,
The city.
yes.
What's that conversation been like?
You know, bottom line is the city has opinions of what is best for them, and we as a state, and protecting the state, we've got positions, and we respect each other's positions.
When will it open?
Excuse me?
When will it open?
I don't have that. Do you have? We don't
So
have that.
we start construction of this time next year. So depending on how long that goes, I don't have the timeline, but we'll make that available as well too, once we start getting down to the design and what that facility is going to look like. So I don't have that date right now.
So, Governor, you mentioned talking to the city. Do you need to go through any sort of zoning or approval by the city council, any of these kind of steps that you need to go through?
There'll be city interactions in this process.
What kind of interactions?
Go ahead, Ron.
So in this type of construction process, there's a number of phases that we have to go through. And so this is just our initial phase to identify the site, come up with the design, and what have you. As we move through, we'll have discussions with officials about utilities and what have you. So all of that is forthcoming, but we don't have that particular information available for you right now.
Do you have a ballpark cost yet?
For
The entire thing?
what was allocated for me, I hope we can stay within the guidelines.
So is this, will this be on city utilities like water, or will this be on, do you know, this property?
It could be either one. It'll depend.
Because I think that area's had some water issues. You know, I mean, are you sure you have enough water in that area?
And so, as I mentioned, we've been working with the construction contractors. And as I spoke about earlier about the phase one, that entails with a lot of sampling of the soil and, you know, assessing the area to ensure that it's viable property for us to purchase. So that particular question that you have asked, we've already vetted those particular concerns.
And does,
Yeah, it's DLR Group.
and Governor, you said that you didn't, consult with either the Judiciary Chair or the Appropriations Chair. Why not? Why didn't you do that?
Well, there's, you know, we've worked incredibly hard to partner with everybody in the legislature, but there are responsibilities that are entrusted to the executive branch and the agencies, and this is one, and that's what we've done. You know, we've done the best that we can, and it's empowered to us following the statute to do that. So that's what we're doing. Anything else? All right, well, appreciate everybody being out. This is a significant investment for the state of Nebraska and for keeping all of us safe and having a great impact on helping people who are paying their debts to society be more successful in the future. And again, we're really, really grateful to the legislature. This right now appropriated total from design through is right at $350 million. It's a significant investment, and we plan on it being an outstanding return for Nebraskans. So thank you all for being